Hey everyone, Sophia here. Welcome back to my Etsy shop and items that will be for sale starting Friday, January 17th at 5 p.m. Quick reminder, the Etsy shop is now on Instagram, so if you want to follow me there for little tidbits and previews, behind the scenes of my thrifting, my shopping, and the shop, you can find me at Frenchy and Tubby, all lowercase, on Instagram. Link down below. Okay, let's get started. As always, I'm going to start with the thumbnail and something quite unusual because I don't do art too much. I only had maybe 2 pieces, one of them is still in the shop, of art for sale. It's not something that you readily find when you go to the thrift store or garage sales or whatnot. So these are quite interesting. And I think that some of you will really like them. They are original prints signed by an Australian artist called Peter Ward. One of them is from 1995 and the other one is from 1993. Now, Peter Ward is still around. He lives in Queensland, I think Victoria, Australia, and he does a lot of work over there, and he's also done work in Italy. These are prints, signed prints and numbered from one of his trip to Italy, and I'm going to assume this one is Florence. So we're going to start with that because obviously we all recognize Florence, right? Well, maybe you haven't been. I was 3 last time I went there. What am I talking about? L'Angelo Custodi. I think it's pretty much some kind of cherub. And again, this is a print. They are professionally framed. You can see that with the sticker from the company that professionally framed them. And it has one of those little statues, a cherub with Italian landscape and Florence. Or maybe it's Siena, who knows, right here. It's really nice. And again, you can see it's got the name handwritten by him and a number and his signature with the date. And this one is numbered 4 out of 25. He didn't do a lot, okay? But apparently he's a well-known artist. I'll put a website when I do the listing where you can check out his website and all of the galleries and exhibitions that he's had. He's quite prolific. And then here's the next one, and this one is Angelo della Musica, and it's number 4 out of 15, and it's also signed Peter Ward, 1993. So this one is an angel sitting on a bench and playing what I believe to be a mandolin. It's very Matisse-like, isn't it? This one is also professionally framed with the sticker. It's got a kind of like a message written by someone in it. Betty, December 9, 1994, Dad, and something else, I don't know, for you when we were in Italy. So I guess somebody gifted that to their daughter, and the daughter didn't keep them. I don't know what to say. So maybe you want to pick them up. They are really nicely framed. This is like a gold matte finish on the frame. They would look great in an entryway, or how about in a powder room? I think they would look great in a powder room too. They're very colorful. Again, very Matisse-like. This is not the art style that I like. But then again, I'm very weird if you're wondering what I like. I like 19th and, well, pretty much 19th century portraits. It's very specific. 19th century portraits is what I like, of real people. I don't know why, but these are very nice. So that's item number 1. Tea lovers, unite. I have a teapot. It's a beautiful teapot. Look at this thing. You may not recognize the pattern right away. It's called Pomona. And this is by none other than Portmeirion, England. So I did a little bit of Googling. Portmeirion, first of all, I didn't know it was English. It's from Stoke-on-Trent. in England, and it was started by a lady. She was born in 1918, I think, and Susan was her name. And at the time, her father asked her to start doing potteries for one of the shops that he had in the village of Portmeirion. And her and her husband later on bought a pottery, an actual kiln. Then they bought another one that had the ability to not only make the pottery but also decorate it. And in 1972, she's the designer. She started this design right here. And this is the Botanic Garden. It's probably the one design for Portmeirion that, Marion, I don't know how to pronounce it. You know what I'm talking about. That is the most recognized. But they also have this pattern that's called Pomona. And this one was not a limited edition, but obviously was not as successful as the Botanic Garden. It's the one with all the fruits. And they had different designs for it. They had some where the lid had a crown of leaves on it, just like the other one, similar to the Botanic Garden. But this one is just beautiful. And it is stamped at the bottom. It says Portmeirion Pottery, Stoke-on-Trent, made in England, right there. Beautiful line. It's got cherries and apricots, or maybe peaches, on both sides. Beautiful teapot, 6 cups, 4 to 6 cups teapot in perfect condition. It's not a self-straining one. You can see that there. The spout is perfect. The handle is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no crazing, not a chip. This thing was loved, absolutely loved, and they are sought after. There's a lot of people who are looking for their vintage teapots, and this is one of them. This one is from the 1980s. And they don't make this pattern anymore. It's been discontinued, I think, in 1985. So we're gonna say this is from the 1980s. It's really nice. This is not hand painted. It's a transferware, but a high quality transferware. You can see that. Vibrant colors. Look at this. Beautiful cherries, different colors on the leaves, variegated leaves. It is really well put together as a design. It's a simple teapot, but it's beautiful. Great for every day if you're a tea drinker like I am. And the handle right here, the little knob, is quite interesting. It's got that pinched two handle, and when you hold it, you really have a good grasp on it. This is very long as well. It allows it to not fall when you pour. I'm holding it. Nobody's pouring like this, but I'm exaggerating. It allows you to pour without risking the lid to fall. Little pipe hole right here in the middle. Sometimes the pipe holes are on the side. This one is pretty much concealed underneath the knob. And the spout is a no drip spout. It's such a nice teapot. I hope you like it. It looks brand new. I'm telling you, there's no flaws to it. It's gorgeous. I really like this. Oh boy. I would keep you, except that I have way too many teapots. So Portmeirion or Marion, Stoke-on-Trent, England, a porcelain teapot. The pattern is called Pomona. When I come back, more porcelain. Okay, item number 3. Some of you will recognize it right away. It's beautiful. It's a fine bone china vase by Ainsley, England. And Ainsley is quite old. It was started in 1775 in England. And then almost 200 years later, around 1970, it was purchased by Spode. So anything you see that's Ainsley is really vintage. This one is the Pembroke pattern. And when you look at the bottom, it says Pembroke, reproduction of an 18th century Ainsley design. So what they probably did was around the 1960s, 1970s, they started to reproduce old patterns and original patterns they started with. And this is typical of what you would see around the 18th century, and that is chinoiserie. They were primarily a British market. A lot of what you see for Hensley in terms of China here in the United States was more than likely purchased in England as gifts and brought over. I don't know if they were selling here. They probably had some imports, but it was primarily an English market. And look, there's a little flower right here, a cute detail. And it was one of those companies that was favored by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana as well. Their wedding chinas are from Ainsley. Just a tidbit. So it tells you a little bit about the quality you would expect. This is stunning. I love this vase. It's got a little foot right here, scalloped, some designs at the bottom. The beauty, of course, is in the pattern itself. It's got a exotic bird with some peonies. It's very Asian looking. Again, this is chinoiserie, right? With beautiful colors. The same repeat pattern on the other side. Really scalloped top. We've got some gold accent here, and the gold is in almost, I would say, perfect condition. There's no fading, nothing to it. And a little repeat of the relief right here. You see it with the light. And of course that little flower right here, that's kind of like a surprise. It's a beautiful vase. This is a medium size vase. I always say that you need 3 sizes, and I will add that you need vases that are crystal and vases that are porcelain, because they serve different purposes. Not all blooms look beautiful see-through. Like the stems may look gross, let's be honest, and some of them muddy the water really fast. So those particular blooms would be perfect for a vase like this. It's got the little notches so you can have flowers that kind of droop. Tulips come to mind. It's stunning. Look at the pictures on the website when it's posted on Friday at 5 p.m. and you're going to see really nice close-ups of the design. Fine bone china, Ainsley, England. Beautiful chinoiserie type vase. I've had vases from them before. They were much smaller. I think this is the biggest one of all of the vases from that particular pattern that I've put up for sale in the shop. So Ainsley, this is from the 60s. It has a little bit of crazing here. It's barely noticeable, but consistent with age. Oh, stunning. Totally would keep it too. Next, we're staying in England with more porcelain. Tiny little thing, but the cutest. Okay, this is a Crown Staffordshire little creamer and an open sugar matching, and believe it or not, there's no pattern name for it. It was at a time where they didn't have patterns. However, a lot of companies did this particular pattern. So it's a repeat. I guess it was one of those patterns that was so popular and was in the public domain that other companies used it. And it is the cutest little thing. So it's roses with some currants and carnations. We have some blue, these blue flowers. Let me give you a better close-up. Look at this. Okay, so who made this? Crown Staffordshire, England. Another one from Stoke-on-Trent. And it's an interesting company. It was started in 1833, but they didn't become Crown Staffordshire China Company until 1948, I think. Let me make sure it stays in focus and not my hair. So it didn't become Crown Staffordshire China Company until 1948. And then they stopped in 1985. What's interesting about them is that when they were manufacturing the china, it's fine bone china, when they were manufacturing it, 3/4 of their china was actually meant for export. A lot of it went to Australia, a lot of it went to New Zealand, a lot of it went to Canada, some of it found its way in the United States. And in the 1960s, I believe in 1963, it was purchased by an American company that specialized in china imports. And that company was actually in New Jersey. And I'm going to say that's probably why I found this. 1960s, Crown Staffordshire gets purchased by Simart here in New Jersey, and eventually it was absorbed by Wedgwood. Out of all companies, Wedgwood purchased them. So when you see Crown Staffordshire, it's 1948, possibly to 1985. After that, they were done. So this is from the 1960s, 1970s. Again, this is a pattern that doesn't have a name. You find it sometimes under, I think it's RW02 by Crown Staffordshire, but I think that's whoever had the cataloged it under that name. It's roses in a basket. That's basically what it is. Roses in a basket. So it's beautiful china, super fine. I don't think you can see through because the light is not, maybe a little bit. Very, very fine. Gold accent on the rim. Little creamer. You can use it as a vase. And a little sugar bowl, an open sugar bowl. Cutest little thing. And you can use them separately. You can use them together. You can put them on display. You can use that on your bedside table. Put your jewelry in it. Little flowers in this one. So cute. I think it's really pretty. Crown Staffordshire. And it says underneath it, fine bone china, Crown, established 1801. See, I thought that was 1833. It's even older than that. Staffordshire, England. Right here. Both of them say the same thing. It's beautiful. Very light, very fragile. We're going to stay with roses. This time around, I'm going to show you cabbage roses. This is an antique piece. It's from the late 1880s, early 1890s. This is Germany, Prussia, back in those days. And this is a Karl Tiersch. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name properly. Vegetable bowl, all hand painted, with a dark green to light green gradient, gold accent, some fading, understandable considering it's an antique. It's a vegetable bowl, and it has cabbage roses with gold accent. Look at this. I hope I'm showing it properly. It's absolutely glorious. I love this. And it says number 22044, handwritten already, all the way in the back here, and the CT logo for Karl Tiersch. And Karl Tiersch was an entrepreneur. I got a little blurb here. He founded the company in Altwasser, Germany. So he founded the company in 1845 and produced amazing work. Very similar to this, that is highly recognizable amongst collectors. This is a vegetable dish. You can tell from the shape of it with two handles. I would display this if you like roses or if you like antique dishes. It's absolutely stunning. It has an interesting design on it. It's not a manufacturer defect. That's the way they wanted it. Once they painted the green, they kind of like speckled. So you see a little bit of speckling, in particular on the dark green. But it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All hand painted. There's some gold fading. You know, if you look at it closely, you can probably see it because it's been used and loved. And you can do fruits, you can do vegetables in it. I love this. I really do. So Kartich, Altwasser, Germany. Antique, late 1880s, early 1890s vegetable dish. The next one is also German, but this one is wow, and it's a set. So if you know German, forgive me if I don't pronounce it right. This is Crystal, and this is Crystal by, I gotta read it, Tischler Winterhalter. So Tischler Winterhalter started in Germany in 1842, and initially they were making lab glass, you know, pipettes and all of this stuff. And then they moved on to other glass pieces, and they moved on to crystal. In the 1960s, they did a lot of what was then West Germany export of beautiful crystal. And I have a set. I have this footed bowl, and I have its matching bud vase. What a set to put on display on a credenza. It would look absolutely beautiful. So let me show you the bowl, because it's 24% lead crystal from West Germany. Let me show you the inside of it. All hand cut. So it's got those circles here. I'm going to refer to them as thumbprints. And then every other one of them has some tiny cuts here, and it's got a it's got a little spray here all around. It's dented, scalloped edge, and it's a footed bowl. It's got 3 feet. Beautiful fruit bowl or centerpiece. It's a very nice piece of crystal. Tischler Winterhalter from Bavaria. They're actually about 200 miles south of Berlin, and in that town. And the company existed throughout the 1960s and the 70s, and then it folded. It was gone by the 1980s. And as you know, around the 1990s, West Germany and East Germany reunited, so definitely not from that time period. This is West Germany, 1950s, 1960s. So that's the footed bowl, and here's the matching bud vase. And the bud vase is just as fabulous. It's a repeat of the pattern with the dents. Okay, it does have one chip here. Barely you can notice it. And the same pattern with the thumbprints all around, elongated, same little diamond pattern, hand cut here and there, crystal clear, absolutely stunning. So you put them together again on the display, credenza, in anywhere. If you have a credenza or a buffet, a small table, and they would make a beautiful accent. Add your flower, add whatever you want in there, or nothing. But if you put them where the light will shine through them, boy, are you gonna get a lot of refraction, because all of those little fans here, all around, are going to refract light everywhere. It's a beautiful set. It's heavy, 24% lead crystal from Germany. Gorgeous, love it. Okay, I have one more piece. I'm going to end this week's listing with one of my favorite, which is pottery. And this is quite unusual. This is a planter slash dip slash organizing tool. It's all handmade on the wheel. Look at this thing. It has grape applique, grape leaves with the little twirl here, and then a little accent of vines and grape leaves in the back. It's all speckled beige and brown, beautiful on the inside, and it is signed at the bottom. Now, it was quite hard to figure out who the signature is. I have to be honest, my group wasn't able to find it either, but we believe it's a Kevin Nolan, and the signature says Nolan, Nolan. And Kevin Nolan is a master potter out of Barnstable, Massachusetts, and he has a company called the Barnstable Pottery. It's very unusual, totally different, and there's so many applications for this. Again, you can use it as a dip. You can put those big tall sticks, you know, those dry bread sticks in there, and then have two different dips, or you can use it to put plants. Unfortunately, my little pots I think are a little bit too big, but here's an idea of what it would look like. Okay, and it's just stunning as a piece. I mean, clearly it's done by a master potter. The smoothness on the outside, and then you can see the difference, and then you can see the circles, right, when they go on the wheel and they start to build it up. That particular vine here is super nice. I don't know how they make that stuff. I wish I could take pottery classes. Don't have the time. But this is really, really nice. It's current, definitely current. I cannot say this is a vintage piece. It looks modern. I love the muted tones. It would go with any kind of decor. It's a little bit of modern at the same time. Such a nice piece. Kevin Nolan, Barnstable, Massachusetts. We think that's what it is. Isn't it neat? It's very nice. The applique. Let's look at this a little bit closer. Look at that. Look at the work in this. Between the coloring and then the design. Such a nice piece. Anyway, so that was my last one. All items I just showcased will be available in the shop tomorrow, Friday the 17th at 5 p.m. And again, if you want to see little previews or behind the scene of what I'm doing with my Etsy shop, you can follow me now on Instagram at Frenchy and Tubby. And if you see anything you really, really like, get behind your keyboard, because at 5 p.m. other people will snatch it from you. What would I keep? This is one of those where I literally would keep everything. There's not a single item this week where I would say, you know what, I don't know about this. I love everything. Particularly, I love the crystal. I need another room. Matter of fact, I think I need 2 extra rooms in my house because there's no place for me to put this. None of this stuff I have room for. So it is what it is. This, absolutely, that's a yes. Absolute yes, would keep. Of course, I would keep this one right here, the called Tilch from Germany, the antique. The pottery, that goes with that saying, you know, I love pottery. This little cute thing here, right? And then the teapot. Not to forget the Peter Ward. Scott likes them, so I would keep them. They are not my style, but Scott really, really likes those. And again, they are signed and numbered prints, so they are very limited. One is 4 out of 15, and this one was 4 out of 25. Peter Ward, Australian artist, and they are lithograph or silk screen. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will visit the shop now or tomorrow and later, and will join me on my Instagram at Frenchy and Tubby. Thank you for watching. Tell me down below which one do you like best, which one would you love to have, and that would be it. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.